My Hero Academia, or Boku no Hero Academia if you have no friends, really began to take off around the release of its second season in 2017, or as Gigut calls it,
Tournament talk! Tournament talk! It's a fucking tournament talk!
Sorry, I just really wanted to use that clip. But I remember back when My Hero Academia was first blowing up and inflating into the giant anime balloon it is today, people were praising it for being one of the best, most unique and most innovative shonens out there. And today we have a large group of people trying to burst the bubble with weak attempts at criticism, which are less like criticisms and more like desperate flailing to hate on a show just because it's popular. Well, no more! No more! My Hero Academia is great! Y'all are just mean! Let's go! I have a special place in my heart for My Hero, more so than any other anime or manga. I started reading My Hero when I was a little newborn, pissing myself in the world of anime and manga. All I had watched at that time was part 1 of Naruto, and I really wanted to read or watch something before moving on to Shippuden. So instead of being a rational person and watching something that I knew was popular like Dragon Ball or Death Note, I descended into the depths of manga hell and found a little series called My Hero Academia, which was on its 10th chapter at the time. I started reading it because it was about superheroes, and if you can't tell, I like superheroes, because I'm a fucking dweeb. And yeah, the rest is history. I love MHA for not only being a great show, but for being a diamond in the rough I found that grew into a balloon? Was that the analogy I was going for? I have a special connection to this show due to my history with it, and the point of that story is that I'm not a reliable narrator when it comes to My Hero Academia. I love the show a lot. Even though I recognise its many flaws, I would still place My Hero in a top 5 anime list of all time for me. And hey, if you want further proof, look at all this manga and merch I own. I love this show. It's probably a bad thing, but I really love this show. So take everything I say with a grain of salt. Even though this show is great, I will probably say it's greater than it actually is. Still good though. Well, that's not a confusing way to start a video. But let's actually talk about what makes this show so great, despite the people who say otherwise. I mean, it cannot go understated that this is a shonen through and through. But honestly, I feel like My Hero Academia breaks down the tropes of the genre in a special way that I feel like is unique to the show. The same way that everyone praised it upon its release. I mean, look, everyone praised it for being unique at first, but nowadays it's just generic to some people. Sometimes I wish this show never got popular. Oh god, I'm not turning into that guy, am I? I feel like one of the biggest ways that this show breaks the shonen mold is in the attitude of the world and its citizens. Most shonens have their characters trying to strive to be the little pirate king Hokage of the world's strongest fighters. And by characters, I mean pretty much all the characters having the same goal. In a show like Naruto, everyone wants to be the strongest ninja. They all have the same goal and motivation. Except the 2 best characters, hey, would you look at that? Deviating from this main goal is what makes characters interesting. And in My Hero Academia, where they all may have the same goal, we can see the different motivations for wanting to reach this goal. Ochako wants to be a hero, literally just for money, but the way it sets it up, she's still a morally sound character. I can guarantee you right now, if Naruto had a character who wanted to be a ninja just for money, they would frame it as a bad dude, you know, someone who wanted to make money off being a ninja. But in My Hero, even though she's being a hero just for money, it's heroic. And the fact that they can happen in a story like that is amazing, fresh and unique. And there are still other reasons for becoming heroes in My Hero Academia. Some characters come from families of heroes, which when you think about it, of course that would happen. And some just want the power and the empire to set up their own Jeffrey Epstein type setup. Was that too far? The point I am making is that context is important, and these little bits of context as to why characters want to become heroes really elevate the world of My Hero above something else like Naruto, where all the motivations are the same. It makes the characters seem more different, and it makes it seem like there's different upbringings in this world, instead of everyone becomes a ninja or a hero, everyone does well, everyone tries their best, we all live happy ever after, yay! But not all of them have a motivation like this. 3 of them have the typical shonen best of the best type goal, but Deku, Bakugo and Todoroki all have something special and something else that makes them stand above a character like Naruto or Goku who just wants to be the best, giving them a goal bigger and more important than just being the best of the best. Todoroki has a certain special relationship with his father, which links heavily into being the goal of the number one hero. This brings so many mental blocks to Todoroki's story, which reminds me a lot of Tsukishima from Haikyuu, making his path to being the number one hero a lot more interesting. I don't think it's well executed, as Suki is, but it's still interesting to see in a story like this. Bakugo has a bit more to talk about, but I'll keep this short, because I hear a lot about this one, and I need to speak my piece about Bakugo. Bakugo's path to being the number one hero is interesting due to his position in the story. We as the audience know he isn't the protagonist, and we as the audience know he isn't in on Deku's secret. So the first 3 seasons, we see this amazing dramatic irony where we know Deku's secret about inheriting One for All, but Bakugo doesn't. And we see how he copes with this. We see how he copes with Deku overtaking him, that he might not be the number one hero. But then, when he learns about this secret in a twist that not many people see coming, we see him mellow out and we see him try to become a less angry dude. Slowly but surely, he mellows out and he becomes better and is becoming a better hero over time. This character arc, again, is no Tsukishima like I mentioned earlier, but is still very good. And I think people need to start appreciating Bakugo more than just, ooh, he's angry and he shouts a lot. I'm really hyping up Tsukishima to be the best anime character of all time in this video, aren't I? Ooh, here we go. Now it's time for the big one. Say it with me. Disliking Deku is not a personality trait. Deku is a good protagonist. Sure, he isn't as amazing as the best protagonist, like Lelouch, Luffy, or Light. Look, it's the 3 L's. Don't know why I found that so funny. But Deku is far, far better than the worst protagonists anime has to offer. Yeah? I went there. Deku is a typical zero to hero shonen protagonist, but he doesn't have a single mantra or dream that he spouts to every other character. Deku will never say, ooh, hard work will prevail, I will be the Hokage. Deku as a protagonist does not elevate himself above anyone. He treats everyone equally, including himself. This boy received recognition from the number one hero in the world and was given his quirk, which, may I remind you, is the 2nd strongest quirk in the world, and he still consistently sacrifices himself for the sake of others despite all that he has riding on him. Naruto would never do that, so Deku is a good protagonist. I don't care if you don't like him because he cries a lot. Guess what, bitch? I cry a lot, so stop watching me then, huh? Well, that escalated quickly. Honestly, I could talk about the Deku issue for days, and I plan on making a video on it eventually. The world building in My Hero Academia is not something to scoff at either. Sure, doesn't stand with the best of the best, like the sprawling islands of the Grand Line or the bustling city of Midgar, but it certainly does very well in this regard. Of course, a society full of superpowered individuals would have heroes with a job. Of course, there would be schools for becoming a superhero. These concepts would sound so bizarre before entering the world of My Hero, but when you see them, they make perfect sense. This is a massive reason I feel My Hero Academia gets called bland by today's standards. These concepts are normal in our minds, but that's okay. My Hero Academia takes place all in one location, so of course this will happen. It's not like some ever-evolving world like One Piece where we're constantly seeing new cultures and new ways of life. It's a static story where we see the same culture, and just because that culture has lost its shock value and isn't constantly evolving like the world is in One Piece, that doesn't mean the story's bad, it just means the story takes place in one location. So if you get bored that quickly, I'm sorry. But this world is pretty well built. Everything about it just makes perfect sense. Of course pro heroes would get judged on statistics. Speaking of statistics, look how many of you aren't subscribed, okay? This is my first anime video, or maybe one came out before this. I can't remember what video I'm going to upload them in. But you need to hit that subscribe button if you like anime videos. Also, if you like gaming videos, hit that subscribe button. Because I'm going to make both. And if this many of you are still not subscribed by the next video, I don't know what I'm going to do, because I do not have a large capacity for violence. But to be honest, I think the most interesting aspect of talking about My Hero and how good it is the arcs. And more importantly, on top of the arcs, we have the genre of the show. I've seen people say that the arcs in My Hero are hit or miss, and honestly, I'd say that's true, but depending on your tastes. Arcs, like the
tournament arc
or the training camp that transitioned into All Might vs. All for One, are pretty popular arcs, even from people who aren't the biggest fan of the show, whereas arcs like the Autumn Festival are less popular for some reason. And this reason is why I personally feel My Hero Academia is a unique shonen, even today. Slice of life shonen. I haven't watched many slice of life shows, so I guess I'm not in the best position to talk about this, but I feel like the way My Hero Academia fuses typical shonen tropes and slice of life elements really resonates with me. Some of my favourite chapters of the manga are the ones where Class 1A show off their decorated dorms. And if we take a look at the previously mentioned Autumn Festival arc, we can see the action shonen and slice of life elements being blended perfectly into one cohesive arc. We have the typical action stuff with Gentle Villain, and we have the slice of life stuff with Class A holding a music performance for the festival. But what makes this arc so special is its connection to the last arc, where we rescued Eri. The performance means a lot to Deku as it represents the healing of Eri's pain, though Deku has to beat the villain and make it home in time. So the two elements, the action and the slice of life, they bounce off each other to influence the plot in clever and new ways. Each aspect of this arc by itself doesn't seem interesting, but when they come together, it makes the arc more interesting, and that's My Hero's biggest strength, in my opinion. I'm not going to spoil the manga, but man does the future look bright for this series. It's pulling in good numbers, and hate is always a vocal minority anyway. And let me just say that if it's pulling in good numbers now, based off the manga, that the plot is only going to go up and up and up from here, and this series will reach great heights. There's a lot I love about this show, but I want you to tell me down below in the comments what you think, because I really want to have a discussion here. There's a lot of turbulent views on this show, so I'd like to see what you think. Also, leave a like on the video if you enjoyed, and don't forget to regularly check the community tab of this channel, because I do some polls on what videos I'm doing next. Also, subscribe if you're not already. I'm watching! Anyway, with all that out of the way, I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to do everything I've asked, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye, everyone.